Good evening and welcome to Prime Time News, live here on News First. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
And I'm Nadim Majid. As always, let's start off with a look at your headlines first. Making headlines this evening, body of an infant found in a marsh in Jayala. Is this a possible homicide? Police commence extensive investigations. The UNP reveals that the central bank has signed an agreement with an American institution to engage with the United States. The main road leading to the Ampara town damaged days after it was renovated. The Minister of Plantation Industries says that in order to increase productivity, sections of estate lands owned by companies should be handed over to labourers.
We at News First constantly bring you various types of news stories. But every once in a while, a story that we report blurs the line between news and emotion. This morning, the body of 1-year-old Himsara was discovered in a marsh in Iribita, Jayala. News First Amarasri Bandara was at the scene this morning. We warn you that this story is heartbreaking.
A News First crew arrived at the infant's house located in the Deepika village in Iribita, Jayala this morning. A large crowd had gathered near the house upon hearing about the infant's death. Born on the 29th of February 2012, Sadev Himsara was in the care of his mother as his father, Priyanta Bandara, was serving away in the army. Himsara's mother had fed him and put him to sleep next to his 9-year-old cousin last night. While the children were asleep, his mother had left to a relative's house located close by. However, when she returned, she had only found Himsara's cousin asleep. We were told that he was lost, so the entire village was searching for him. We informed the police as we couldn't find him. The police also conducted search operations to no avail. The villagers began to search for him even this morning. We found him at around 9 a.m. My sisters are still in the police. They are not aware that he is dead. The police who arrived at the location this morning found the lifeless body of the missing infant in a marsh behind his house.
දරුවාගේ මృත ශරීරය රැඳී සිටින්නේ මාමේ රැඳී සිටින ගසේ සිට අඩි 20ක පමණ දුරින්.
The remains of the child was located about 20 feet away from where I am standing. His house is located about 20 feet away in the opposite direction. The body was found in a marsh and it is around 2 to 3 feet deep. It is clear that a year-old infant cannot walk or crawl through this marsh. That is why there is a suspicion about this death.
ඒ නිසාම මේ මරණය පිළිබඳව ඉතාමත්ම දැඩි සැකයක් ජනිත වෙනවා.
Relatives suspect that someone carried Himsara and thrown him into the marsh. Neighbors say they heard the cry of the infant coming from the house at around 9 last night. Relatives believe that a personal dispute may have been the reason behind the infant's death. The additional magistrate of Nikambo, Swarna Pereira, who arrived at the scene of the incident, conducted the magisterial inquiry. While the magisterial inquiry was underway, Himsara's mother, DG Imesha Dilrukshi, arrived at the location after lodging a complaint with the police. Thereafter, the judicial medical officers also arrived at the scene. Later, the body of little Himsara was taken to the hospital for the post-mortem examination. The police have arrested several individuals in connection to the incident. The loss of little Himsara cannot be thought as the loss of one mother and father. Instead, isn't it true that when crimes of this nature take place, the entire nation has lost a child?
President Mahinda Rajapaksa inspected renovation work carried out on the old buildings at the Auditor Generals Department yesterday.
Several dignitaries, including Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa, also attended the inspection. The construction is done by the Civil Special Projects Division of the Sri Lanka Navy under the supervision of the Ministry of Defence and Urban Development. An estimated 149 million rupees will be spent on renovating the old buildings at the Auditor Generals Department. Meanwhile, President Mahinda Rajapaksa attended the Sinhala and Tamil New Year celebrations of the Carlton Preschool yesterday. The event was held at Torrington Square and a group including the Defence Secretary attended the event.
Paksa, very specially the President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, His Excellency Mahinda Rajapaksa.
The United National Party charges that the Central Bank of Sri Lanka has signed an agreement with an American company to boost ties with the United States. UNP parliamentarians made this statement during a media briefing held today.
The government has entered into an agreement with the Thomson Company in the United States through the central bank. The contract aims to boost ties between the Sri Lankan and American governments. Minister G.L. Peiris is saying that they reject America while from the back door they pay a sum of 8.3 million rupees to an American company on a monthly basis. What is this foreign policy? There is a right to information in America. If an American company enters into an agreement with a foreign entity, then they need to disclose all information. If not, they will be penalized. With whom has the Thomson Advisory Group signed this contract? It says here that it's with the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Does the government regulate this institution in any way? What do you think is the answer they have given? No. Who controls the central bank through the 18th Amendment to the Constitution? It is the President. Therefore, how can the central bank, which is controlled by the President, say that there is no government involvement?
Will the activities on behalf of the above foreign principal include political activities? Political activities will involve the dissemination of fact sheets, white papers and op-eds, meetings, emails and phone calls. The policies include trade, foreign investment, economic growth and national security.
When has the central bank been involved in the government security activities? An individual by the name of Tilak Siriwardana is behind this contract. He has been recruited in an advisory capacity for a period of 12 months. His monthly salary is $84,000.
Masakata $84,000 ගෙවනවා මේ පුද්ගලයාට.
In other local news, one person was killed and two others were injured in an accident in the Bandaragama area along the southern expressway. Now, according to the police, the jeep in which the victims were travelling had skidded off the road and toppled at around 12 noon today. The deceased is a 45-year-old businessman, a resident from the Maharagama area. The two injured were identified as the wife and daughter of the victim. The trio were on their way to Pinnaduwa, from Colombo at the time of the accident.
Trains that operate during office hours render a great service to the passenger transport service. However, certain shortcomings in the service have inconvenienced commuters who travel by train to work.
News First started in the Kandavata and the News First team boarded this train from Ganemulla at around 7:28 this morning to take a first-hand look at the difficulties faced by commuters. I am on board the train that travels daily from Kurunagala to Moratuwa. Commuters who board this train are severely inconvenienced. Although the usual hustle and bustle during rush hour was not evident this morning due to the New Year season, a significant number of commuters were seen travelling in this train. I think because of the New Year it is less crowded, but once you pass Fort, the number of commuters increase. We have been boarding the train from Veyangoda for the past 25 years, but we have never been able to get a seat on this train. Sometimes the train from Alava goes ahead of this train in Ragama. Then there is a delay which puts us in trouble. We are questioned as to why we can't make it on time. It is a minus point on productivity. I think it would be better if another 2 or 3 trains are deployed. Increasing the efficiency of human resources is essential to achieve the development goals of a country. Therefore, resolving issues that would have an impact on efficiency and productivity would no doubt benefit the country.
It's time now for a short commercial break.
Welcome back to the news. The National Sangha Federation charges that the Mahinda Chintanya has paved the way for gambling to take place across the island. However, the Federation says that it agrees with the proposal to move all casinos to one location.
At this moment, the Mahinda Chintanya and the government has paved the way for gambling to reign supreme in Sri Lanka. Gambling can destroy the culture in the country. Therefore, we are against gambling and casinos. We will be happy if the government can move all casinos to one location and thereby limit its influence on society. We agree to that proposal. Recently, 2 containers carrying ethanol were illegally imported to the country. It was kept secretly and then measures were taken to release it. Who is releasing it? Instead of ensuring that the Matatatita concept is a success by 2015, it has come to a point where we have to save the Mahinda Chintanya concept from the government.
The Navy says that they are currently investigating the recent incident of 66 asylum seekers reaching Australian mainland.
A vessel carrying 66 Sri Lankan illegal immigrants was detected off the coast of Geraldton in Australia on Tuesday. Australian authorities warned that the arrival of this vessel raises questions of flaws in the country's border security systems. According to Australian media reports, political parties in Australia are engaged in a tug of war over the issue ahead of the upcoming general elections. Speaking on the issue, Tony Abbott, the opposition leader of Australia, noted that the present administration has failed to combat illegal immigrants from entering Australia. Opposition parties are of the view that both people should be asked to leave. Meanwhile, Australia's Department of Immigration and Citizenship said that the vessel carrying asylum seekers who engaged in a 6-week-long travel consisted of several women and children. The Premier of Western Australia, Colin Barnett, said that the vessel's ability to evade all border security and reach the mainland was incomprehensible. It is, however, not yet clear when the processing of these illegal immigrants would end. Until such time, the illegal Sri Lankan immigrants will be housed in Christmas Island.
First, you reporter Shakti Kumar Danushka from Batticaloa filed this report for us today.
An accident occurred when an Air Force vehicle travelling from Walachene to Batticaloa collided with a vehicle belonging to the Eravur police that was travelling from Eravur to Kaluwankeni. The drivers and the passengers in both vehicles suffered minor injuries.
News First, you report செய்திகளுக்காக மட்டக்களப்பிலிருந்து சக்தி குமார் தனுஷ்கர்.
The sound of firecrackers is common at any event ranging from celebrations to sporting events and political campaigns. However, News First correspondent Shamil Rupasinghe met with a group of firecracker manufacturers who are facing numerous problems.
Halloluwa in Urudumbara Kandy is where the firecracker industry thrived in the past. Over 500 individuals continue to make the production of firecrackers their livelihood. A license to produce crackers is issued under a certain bill. To sell crackers, a supplier's license is being issued. It is extremely difficult to obtain that license. For that, we need to go to the police as well. To sell one single cracker, we need a license. We manufacture crackers with the chemicals approved by the Ministry of Defence. The government can implement the law regarding this in a proper manner. If the Divisional Secretary is vested with the power, a license or a permit can be obtained from the Divisional Secretary. It is we who know the dangers of the gunpowder used for this manufacturing process. We also met with individuals who sell firecrackers. Manufacturers say there has been a sharp drop in the demand for firecrackers during this New Year season